Hey guys, it's Tom Box, welcome to MST.TV, and today we look into Null Nun and Blooming Dogwood, the new hand trap, and answer the question that you're all asking, do I take the Dogwood challenge? So I've tested 7 different matchups playing against this card where I go full wombo combo and see the repercussions of how much life my opponent will gain and how many turns they will live. I'm dropping all that down into a table, but you guys can actually see it because I recorded the entire process. But first, a bit of context of what she is, what she does, and what's her purpose, and this card text read is brought to you by the Patreons! Anyways, if you guys want to help support this channel, check out the Patreon link down in the description below and let's get some card text reading done. So Null Nun Blooming Dogwood, of course that name is pending, it's not really the finalized name. Quick effect, you can discard this card. This turn, each time your opponent special summons an effect monster during the main or battle phase, you gain life points equal to the attack of that monsters or those monsters. During the end phase of this turn, if you did not gain life points with this effect, half your life points, which comes with a hefty risk, you can only use this effect of Null Nun Blooming Dogwood once per turn. Okay, I can see why people compare her to Maxi. Both serve the purpose of countering summon spam combos. Maxi deters people from doing the combo by dumping card advantage to one side, whereas Null Nun straight up just stops it by providing enough life points to survive a full direct attack from all the summoned monsters. Let's compare Blooming Dogwood with Maxi. In terms of OTK, Blooming Dogwood has the better survivability because its whole point is to even out on the life points, break even at the very least. Or if not, you'll probably gain a lot more life points, giving you additional turns. Whereas Maxi, challenge is pending, you have a 50-50 chance whether or not they're going to go in and take the challenge, depends on the person. And then even if they do take the challenge, if you already have a hand trap in there that can potentially stop them, you maybe have another 3 or 4 cards that you can dig into before you basically die. Usually you can dig into, 3 or 4 cards, that's quite a few cards, but you have still a potential of dying, and even if you do dig into that hand trap, if they have an extender, you have a lot of variables to consider, so you still have a likelihood of getting gamed by your opponent under that Maxi. As for control boards, I would say Maxi has the advantage here because Maxi can really drive fear to your opponent where they set up a half-ass board, or if they make the full board, they're really worried about their board getting broken. You're likely going to be able to break it, especially if you draw maybe 3 to 4 cards. That's 3 to 4 cards for your opponent that they don't know, and if you're playing a sided game, you can dig into your sideboard cards that may offer additional advantage where you can trade 2 for 1, but even if you trade 1 for 1, your opponent is really worried that they can lose their entire board, which leads to a lot of people deterring their full setup and doing a half-ass setup. But if you use Blooming Dogwood against someone that is doing a control board, it is likely that you're going to gain a ton of life points, and then they are still going to sit with it because if you can't break that board, you're still done. And without the card advantage to do it, you may have bought yourself a couple of extra turns, but that's all you got. You got the couple of extra turns, and you can pray whether or not you can dig it out. You're playing against Thunder Dragons, you can't search, and if you still have a handful of search cards, you're still playing with a very, very limited hand. If your opponent has a ton of negations, like 4 negations, but all your cards are once per turn, like hard once per turn, you still can't break them because you're limited based off of your own deck's limitations. And that's why you might have the extra turns, but your opponent will still sit on their board. So Blooming Dogwood might not deter your opponent, so they still will complete their board, whereas Maxi might not so much, and you have more chances of breaking it. And then we have loops. This is pretty obvious. Blooming Dogwood is likely to survive most form of FTK loops or OTK loops, whereas Maxi, you're going to deck out if you don't dig into the second hand trap. So what about hand size? Well, hand size clearly goes to Maxi. Maxi gets a clear advantage on this, especially if the longer the combo it is, the more likely they're going to stop and make a half-ass board that's not able to kill you. Whereas Blooming Dogwood, you gain about 2 turns, and through the 2 turns you gain 2 cards, but it's not like a +2, it's just that you have the ability to reach 2 more cards, but your opponent will also be able to reach 2 more cards over the duration of 2 turns. That's the difference. But is the extra 2 cards enough to help you survive? Because let's face the facts. When you use Blooming Dogwood, what you can do is you can just pass turn and not do anything so that you can have a more explosive turn on the turn upcoming. Whereas Maxi, you should probably expend most of your resources or else you'll have to dump cards out of your hand or you'll be forced to commit them to the board regardless. So Maxi can wreck the boards but might not survive, whereas Null Nun can survive the OTK but not break the board. So they kind of like do opposite things in their trajectory, but they're all within the same realm of combo countering. So let's do our first case of testing. So this is the juicy bits. Rongo versus the Null Nun challenge. Is it worth doing? We're going to ask the right questions and answer them as well. For Rongo combo, since you're going first, if you get Null Nun, should you continue the combo? The answer probably is, yeah, you should. You don't have good interactions against your opponents anyway, so establishing a board where they have a chance to kill you is better than having a board where they're guaranteed to kill you. So do you have an alternative combo otherwise? I don't know what the Rongo combo can actually do aside from establish Rongo and maybe put out like a lot of aggressive cards. Maybe they can put out a Fog Blade in the back, but outside of that, I don't see too many interaction that is available. So yeah, you don't exactly have too much alteration in their combo. Was the hand trap relevant? 100% it is relevant, because now with over 20,000 life points, I'm not going to die. Even if I take a full swing of doing nothing, well, that I just demonstrated right here. So he's going to go Stratos, attack, 3k, 24. All of it seems very minute. I'm still well above the survival line. Next turn, likely gonna get attacked by Boros Sword. And even with the Boros Sword, all I really needed to do was just set a card, and that chump block will take away some damage. So nothing to really worry here. And we're going to see a Boros Sword. Boros Sword gets its swing. This is still not enough. I think at most, yeah, that just doesn't do enough. So you get about 2 turns worth of time if you have Null Nun versus the Rongo combo. And after that point, you get to fully counter out the deck since you're able to summon. And with life drain down, it's pretty easy to get that one shot in. So versus Thunder Dragons, do you continue to do your combo? The answer is probably yes, because you're establishing a control-based board that is also very threatening. But the only big problem is that you're giving your opponent a lot of life points if you go full combo. So do you have an alternative combo? Absolutely. You can just put up 2 Colossus rather than 3, or like 2 Colossus and like a Titan. You don't have to go all the way with the deck. It's just if you give them that much life, you're offering your opponent about 3 turns worth of time to survive. So is the hand trap relevant for them? Absolutely. 3 cards, that's usually like the amount of turns you need to break the Thunder Dragon board when you don't have the out. Just digging 3 cards can get you there, and that's the scary part. And if you're playing against a deck that has like a lot of combo pieces, especially decks that are aimed to going second, well, like BA, they're going to get into a Borreload or Boros Sword, and the board is basically completely busted. So maybe you shouldn't overcommit, but that's just my opinion here. And let's move on to the next matchup. The first is Prank Kids. Is this card relevant? Well, you gain a lot of life points when they start their combo with Poly, so it's potential good use here. I would say I would side out Ashes versus this particular deck and probably go with Null Nun, because you're guaranteed the survival once you play Null Nun. If they try to go Boros Sword, you're not going to die. You gain the 3,000, and on top of that, to get to Boros Sword, you have to do multiple special summons along the way to get it out in 1 turn. You're not going to die, and that survivability means that the Boros Sword is susceptible to getting destroyed, getting removed, and then you can fully counter your opponent. And most people don't run more than 1 copy of Boros Sword anyway, so that's if they try to kill you. But what if they're trying to establish more control? Is it still worth it? I'd say so. You're getting a ton of life, and I would say Prank Kids don't exactly have the scariest of boards, in my opinion. Because if you think about Prank Kids, they have the ability to go into the guy that can Raigeki your board, but depending on what your deck is capable of handling, then it doesn't exactly matter as much. That's just my thoughts on the current matchup. What about Sky Strikers? You shouldn't use this card against Sky Strikers. Are they going to continue to combo? Well, hell yeah, they're going to continue to combo. At most, they're only giving you about 4,000 life, and the whole deck chips away at your life anyway. So the only thing you feel like you're getting is you're getting 3 upstarts without getting the actual cards. It feels a little dumb. You don't gain that advantage. And the Sky Striker setup is still going to be there, and you're still going to have to grind through the matchup. It's not going to work out for you. Like, the amount of life that you gain, 3,000 if they do like a turn 1, maybe 4,500 or more if they do a turn 2. So yeah, definitely not worth it. Play a better hand trap. Another control-based matchup, Altergeist. Altergeist, don't use this card. There's so many instances where you can get baited into using Null Nun, and I'm going to highlight it right here. So, Altergeist, they go first, they set their back row, they have Multi-Faker. They don't have very many special summons aside from the Multi-Faker. So without the Multi-Faker, what do they have exactly? And how much life are you going to get? So they're going to open with the turn on the draw phase with a twin sorry, an anti-spell fragrance, and we're gonna see a twin twister action happen here. And then we're gonna hit the 2 back. They're gonna use protocol and spoofing, shuffle back in that spoofing. Okay, whatever, that's all the same. And okay, here's the point where a lot of mistakes can happen. They're gonna activate the multi-faker, and you can activate the Null Nun. Problem is, we're still in the draw phase, and because we're in the draw phase, you don't gain any life, and you're about to lose 4,000 life. As since they don't have any more special summons outside of manifestation, what are you doing exactly? So no life gain right here, so potential 0 life gain in the very beginning, and therefore you're gonna be trading half your life for it. That is not good. Avoid using this card. And even if you are gaining life, how much life are you actually getting? 2,000. 2,000 tops. You have your multi-faker and your silky disc, and that's 812. It's not worth it. So what about Sekka's Light Burning Abyss? Yeah, you should use this card against them going first or second, because their whole goal is to kill you in 1 turn. Your goal is to stop them from killing you in 1 turn. And do they have alternative combos? Unfortunate for them, their whole deck is made up of monsters. So how much life do you get? And what is a quote-unquote full combo? I don't know, but you're getting upwards of 12,000 life points at the very least. You're gaining 3 or 4 turns. Do they have an alternative combo that they could use to establish some level of control? Well, probably better than Rongo at the very least. They can probably put out Snow to put your stuff face down, Bortlesword to put you into defense mode. They can use Beatrice to banish a card through dumping a Farfa, and they have Orbital Hydrolander to pop one of your cards. So that's the kind of board that they can establish. But they give you like maybe 20 to 30,000 life points, giving you 4 turns, 1 turn to break each monster. That's a bit of that's a lot of time to sit on the board with the inability to kill your opponent. So it's quite easy to break the board afterwards. You can even use a single copy of Raigeki. At that point, you don't have to worry because they have committed their resources. So are there alternative boards? Maybe we'll see that they will change up how they play just so that they have a more control-based board that they can sit on. Okay, so let's bring down the chart if you want to see it all together. So Sky Strikers, full combo, you gain about 4,000 life points or more. Semi-combo, maybe 3,000, mainly because they go into 2 exceeds. Is this a valuable side? No, it's completely irrelevant. 1 or 2 turns, they don't care if they go into 1 to 2 turns. They're just going to grind out the match against you regardless, especially when they have control. You're still going to die at the end, and that's not a lot of life points gained. So do they take the challenge? Hell yeah. What about Thunder Dragons? Thunder Dragons, full combo, upwards of 16,000 life points. That's like 2 games worth of life in like 1 go. It's semi-combo. If they've chosen to alter their combo, maybe you don't get as much. You get about 8,400, which is still a full life bar's worth. You're gaining a 1-up. Is it a valuable side? Yeah, it's valuable, but there are probably better choices. I prefer to use, say, things that prevent them from getting it out rather than gain life and hope for the best. But it's still very useful because you can get the extra turn if they put out 2 Colossi and you can't negate both of them or you can't turn them both off. You have additional turns to dig into it. Even if you do nothing, you know you won't die. You can pass on an empty board and it's not even that threatening. So do you take the challenge as a Thunder Dragon player? Yeah, you should still take the challenge, whether you finish with the semi board or not. Remember, you're able to recycle your resources, so you're not under that much of a threat when they have a ton of life, because you have one of the biggest damage engine right now that can just drain their life with an additional turn or 2. Not that too big of a worry, and with Titan you can still control the board. Altergeist. Yeah, full combo, you'll gain about 2,000 life points, so that's really minuscule, and at worst, you gain no life points, and you'll lose half your life. So, semi-combo means, well, I guess not really the semi-combo, but they can bait you into activating this card at the worst possible timing. Remember, it's main phase and battle phase. Anything in between, no, they don't work. So, just make sure you know which phase you're activating in, and is it irrelevant completely? So, if you offer them the challenge, they're going to be like, what challenge? There is no challenge, it doesn't exist. Burning Abyss. Luckily for Burning Abyss, the entire deck is made up of monsters and special summons, so you'll be gaining life upwards to wherever that combo takes them. They can definitely go over 9,000 life points, possibly even into the 30,000 if they have like Dark Arm Dragon. They're just spamming the board. They're just dumping everything on the board. Yeah, not much they can do. What about a semi-combo? Do you have a semi-combo? Well, if we talk about the other combo with put out a Bortlesword, Beatrice, Snow, and I guess there's that Farfa. I guess Farfa was kind of the Beatrice, or maybe even the Hydrolander. That's an upward of over 10,000 life points, but as a semi-combo, what if you just put up Beatrice and try to sit on that? Well, that one's about 5,000 life-ish. Is it a valuable side? Yeah, hell yeah. You go first or second, you still put this in because you're guaranteed going to live. It's like a Wabaku that burns your opponent's resources, maybe? I don't know. Do you take the challenge? No, you shouldn't take the challenge. Try to set up with a minor board because it really sucks, and it's not like you're forced into making this combo anyway, so you have alternative ways of playing. Prank Kids. Full combo, you gain upwards of 12,000 life points. Semi combo, at least 6,000. Is it a valuable side? I'd say not really. There are just many better options, in my opinion, that stops everything. You can use Call of the Grave, you can use Ghost Bell to stop the rocket. I think those things that stop them from getting additional resources is more important than just gaining life and hope that you can play out of it. It is still better than Ash Blossom in some degree because there's not too many points where Ash Blossom makes a significant change in impact. So maybe I'll use this over Ash Blossom just so I get an additional card. But overall, yeah. Do you take the challenge? It's up to you. It doesn't really affect too much. But in most cases, if you want to minimize the amount of life your opponent gains just because you don't want to grind it out against them, don't take it. Against Rongo. Yeah, Rongo, you go first or second. You still use this. They don't have a semi-combo. They don't have something in between that they can sit on. So against Rongo, you gain upwards of 12,100 life points. And the thing is, they're committed into taking that challenge, so they don't have a choice. And I guess as a little bit of a bonus, what about Salamangreats? Salamangreats, if they go full wombo combo, getting up their back row, setting up their board with some really devastating monsters, and basically it's a very sticky board with a counter trap, you'll gain upwards of, well, 12,000 life points, and if they chose to half-ass their board, you'll gain about 3,000 or so. Is it a valuable side? It is a control matchup, so not really. It's up to you what you think about it. Do you take the challenge even though they're going to get that much life? Yeah, you do. You cycle your graveyard like crazy. Any deck that is capable of cycling is something that you have to be aware of. But that is all I got for this chart. So what's the weakness for this particular hand trap? Well, it's multi-attacking monsters and monsters that can boost themselves really, really high. Those are the two things that might bypass this and still kill you. And there are still several other dangers like special summoning monsters with 0 attack points, like Brilliant Infusion. You gain 0 life out of it, and that could be baiting you into using the card, and then you lose half your life. And then you just perform a couple of normal summons to survive, and now they have a much shorter reach to put you down to 0. So those are some of the dangers. So what are your thoughts about this card? Is it too weak? Is it too different? How do you compare this card to Maxi? Do you prefer Maxi over this one? Leave it all down in the comment section below. I would love to hear your thoughts regarding this particular card. And that's all I got for you guys today. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hit me up with a thumbs up. If you guys want to see more stuff from MST.TV, hit that subscribe button, pound that notification bell, and well, I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please drop us a like so we know we are doing a good job, and you can also subscribe to MST.TV for more fantastic videos by clicking on the button on the left. Don't forget to check out our partners at Imperium Duelist. They make really high quality mats, including some of my own limited edition release stuff. And if you want to check out one of our past videos, click here on the right. As always, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV, and I'll see you next time.